Hey there guys, in this video we're going to be going to Vestige of Ithne and we're going to be getting a rank 1 clear. Now in this video we are not going to be using the new Elena, which means this is going to be pretty hard to do, but I figured I'd start right away with, what if I don't have Elena request. So we're going to do a no Elena clear, rank 1, all modifiers, and I do have to tell you it is pretty hard to rank 1 this boss if you're not using Elena. Her leader skill is a very big deal. She does, decentish damage. But we're going to be using this party. We're going to be using Richt as our leader. He's a 500 clash leader. We're going to be using Dwayne and Rain basically just for damage. That's really all they're here for, is just to deal damage. Richt is going to be our primary light in peril, also a lot of damage. Ibarra is going to be for Mirage, Human, and Demon Killer. We're just not using a Fairy Killer whatsoever, so no Fairy Killer on the party. And we're going to be using Abigail as our tank. So here is the party we're going to be using. Let's give it a go. We'll get a rank 1. Turn chart will be in the comments, although the turn chart is only going to go up until our burst turn to get our 2.5 score. After that, because the fight is so long, because your damage may push thresholds on different turns, you got to kind of just wing it a little bit. But anyway, so on turn 1, what we're going to be doing, Abigail is going to do methodical mitigation for the Omni cover because it's higher mitigation for turn 1, contingency, and then Shelga. Because turn 1 is relatively painful. Richt in the shift form is going to be doing Luminous Burst for the light in peril, Radiant Protection for the break, and then Determined to protect just to hit the boss. Dwayne is going to do Blood Shield and then just 2 attacks, doesn't really matter which one. Flaring Rain for basically the entirety of the fight is only going to triple Bolting Strike, and that is it. Fina the Return is going to imbue the party with Light, Protectka, and then doesn't really matter, we can just hit the boss. And then Ibarra in the base form is going to do both the killers, Human and Demon, and then Wish for Vengeance that fills the morale gauge. Okay, so turn 1 is going to be kind of whatever. With Abigail's mitigation, she's using the 90% mit, no damage basically. Okay, so the boss does still have this defense and spirit buff. We're just going to ignore it, and we're going to still, deal damage. It's going to deal basically nothing, but that's okay. So we're going to use Dwayne's LB. We're going to do the shifted LB of Richt, Flaring Rain, every single turn, just triple boltings. Ibarra base form LB. Fina the Return is going to summon the field, and then Abigail is going to normal cover. We're going to provoke for the mitigation and then just use her drone type. Because, these are not going to really chain or whatever, so it doesn't matter. This turn is basically a no damage turn because the boss still has huge mitigations and we have no morale basically. Now the boss's defense and spirit buff is gone, we can start actually dealing some damage. So some attacks on Abigail, again, no big deal. Alright, this turn, a lot of SLBs going on. So Dwayne, SLB for the buff, Fina, SLB for the buff, and Abigail, SLB for the mitigation. We love that mitigation. Richt is going to, in this turn, triple bolting. Don't use his Magnus bolting, though. Flaring Rain, every single turn, triple bolting. And Ibarra, we'll go to the shift form, and we'll double bolting and focus. And we're going to get ready for a baby burst next turn. So this clear is a little bit awkward in that Dwayne is not the most smooth to fit in for a damage per turn style fight. Dwayne is one, I've said it before, Dwayne is a unit that you set up and burst. You don't do damage per turn with him. So because his good burst is not ready this turn, we're going to deal damage and not really worry about bursting really on this turn. We're just going to deal the best damage we can. So Richt is going to base form LB. Dwayne will triple bolting to fill his LB gauge. Flaring Rain will triple bolting. Ibarra will shift the LB. Fina the Return on this turn will refresh the imbue. We're going to protect and then just bolting. We'll do this first. And then Abigail can just refresh cover, refresh Shelga, and we'll do an anti-magic on this turn. And okay, we're going to go ahead and chain this up, deal a little bit of damage, but not a whole lot, because Dwayne is not using his LB, so this is not a real burst turn. Also, we didn't use good amplifiers and all that. Still did 1.5. Anyway, a lot of people frequently say, why aren't you using the morale skills when you're on these specific parties? Well, the morale skills are up here, these morales at the top of the screen. These are 400% buffs. We're using Thena's SLB. It's a 400% buff, and they don't stack. So really using the morale skills when someone is already doing 400 buffs is kind of irrelevant. Same thing if Paladin Sylvie's in your party and doing her LB. You don't need the morale skills. Those are only for if you're not using a 400 buffer, but we are. So anyway, on this turn, we're going to, again, just keep going. So Dwayne's decent burst is now ready. Unfortunately, the rest of the party's burst is not ready. That's okay. It's going to all line up on turn 8. So we're going to triple bolting here with Richt, Flaring Rain, always, 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 triple bolting. Ibarra on this turn is going to stay in the shift form and just triple bolting to fill her LB gauge. Thena the Return can just refresh the Bangman field because really there's not much else going on this turn. We're going to refresh cover and the brakes on Abigail, and we can go ahead and chain this up, deal a little bit of damage. Now, for this clear, we do not want to push the boss below 70% until turn 8, because we're going to be setting up a big burst, and on the 70 threshold, the boss gains like fields and buffs and all that, and we're not set up to deal with that, so we're going to like just intentionally stall a little bit. So Dwayne is going to, on turn 6, SLB, Thena will SLB, Abigail will SLB, Richt on this turn is going to go to the shift form, and he's going to do Luminous, Radiant, and then just bolting again. Flaring Rain every turn, bolting, and then Ibarra on this turn will do her base form LB. And we're not worried about chaining it because, again, we're just doing setup right now. We do a little bit of damage, just don't push the boss below 70 until turn 8 with this specific strategy. Now, of course, you could change the turn chart and, do whatever you want. Modify the clear to your own desire. But for the way we're doing it, we're going to wait till turn 8 for our big boy burst. Okay, so now we're going to get set up to burst next turn. So Richt in the base form is going to be doing Leading Light, Leading Legend, and Light from Within. A lot of setup for burst this turn. Flaring Rain, same as always. Dwayne is going to do Arcane Supplementation, Blood Shield, and then we can just hit the boss, doesn't really matter. Ibarra is going to do both the killers, and then we're going to do Sukayuko as her last action. Flaring Rain just always repeats. Thena on this turn can imbue the party. We're going to do Protect, and we can do a barrier this turn because we don't have one from Abigail this round. And Abigail can do Cover, Shelga, and we can just top off the party with Kurega. And next turn, we're going to be doing our 2.5 or better. That way, the rest of the fight, we don't got to worry about it. We can just forget the damage cap from that point forward. All we got to do is win, which is still going to be pretty hard when we get to phase 3, but we'll do it. Okay, so now it is time to kill the boss. I'm sorry, we're not going to kill the boss. We're going to do our 2.5 damage cap. So we're going to go ahead and just break and contingency on this turn because we're going into phase 2. Richt is going to base form LB. Dwayne is going to normal LB. Flaring Rain, can you guess? Can you guess? Triple pulverizing. Ibarra is going to shift the LB. And we're going to triple bolting with Return Thena. And this is going to be our damage cap. This should be comfortably 2.5 or better, depending on your gear, of course. But we should do good damage here. 3.0, so yeah, we comfortably overcapped with this party. So there we go. Now we're in phase 2. Now phase 2 gets a little trickier. You need to keep Mirage up on the party in phase 2. So keep that in mind. Now, the turn chart is not going to exist anymore. From this point forward, we just wing it. Deal damage, do your rotation. You saw the rotation, so you just keep it going. So Dwayne, when his LB is ready, we do it, or the SLB is ready, we do it. Richt just goes back and forth between stuff. Make sure Richt always maintains his Luminous Burst. Anytime Luminous Burst is off cooldown, you got to use it, because that is the only imperil we have on this party. Flaring Rain, every single turn, just bolting. Now, Ibarra needs to maintain Mirage this phase until we get to actually the rest of the fight. Basically, you have to maintain Mirage, even if it means interrupting her rotation to stop what you're doing and go put Mirage up. You gotta do it. She's our only reliable source of Mirage on this clear. Now, the boss does have defensive spirit buff this turn, so we're going to do a pretty low damage. Thankfully, the defensive spirit buffs are not as bad later in the fight, so there you go. So just watch the party. Anytime you see something miss on the party, you got to put Mirage back up. So this turn, nothing missed, so we're safe. So we still have Mirage. We can use Ibarra to do other stuff. So Ibarra's killers are not ready, so we'll just use her to shift here and do her shifted skills. Let's see. Dwayne is going to triple bolting. Rick, we need. I think the sword and peril fades soon. We're gonna do the shifted LB. Flaring Rain can do triple bolting. Fiend of the Return. I don't know when we last imbued. We can always check. When did we last imbue? Oh, one more turn of light imbue? Yeah, we need to do that again. So light imbue. Protect, and just, we don't need barrier, so, whoops. Light imbue, don't dispel. Light imbue, protect, and we can just hit the boss. Abigail, I don't know what we did with you last, so we'll just cover Shell, and, I don't know, contingencies on cooldowns, we'll just magic break. And the rest will deal some damage here. There we go. And the boss's defensive spirit buff on the threshold are now gone. There they go. They were there at that turn. Now they're gone. Notice that we're not removing the boss's mitigate or the boss's field. That's okay because our Abigail is still, even with the imperils, our Abigail is still immune. And I'll show you the gear at the end. But we're fine. So turn 11, Dwayne can do his LB. Rick needs to refill his LB, so we just do this. Let's see, Rain, always. Ibarra, it looks like we don't have Mirage this turn, and I just normal attacked Ibarra. Oh my god. Well, I can't Omni cover because we'll just die. Maybe Omni cover is okay. I don't know. I clicked Ibarra by accident and I didn't Mirage, so we're going to try Omni cover. This may or may not be death right now. I don't know. Let's refresh the field. And let's see what happens. Who knows? I was supposed to Mirage with Ibarra, and I fat-fingered it and didn't click the right button. Okay, that turn was not a physical turn, so we're fine, thankfully. If the boss had done physical that turn, we would have been in trouble, but we were okay. Do the SLBs. Rick can do the base form LB. Ibarra can do, let's see here. We need the killers and Mirage. So we'll do that first, which means Rick will have to do the shifted LB instead because no one else will chain with him. And the shifted LB is triple bolting, and that'll chain with Rain. Oh, never mind. I just noticed. I just noticed the Imperil is gone. So we need to Imperil and then double bolting. So we'll do this. Yeah, this turn is obviously, as you can tell, basically it's a setup turn. We're not really chaining or anything. It's fine. We'll take care of it next turn. Okay, so we do have Mirage again. Let me watch the party here. Are we go? Yep. Okay, so those misses. We need Mirage again. So put Mirage back up. Yeah, we need Mirage until we get to phase 3. So Ibarra will just triple bolting. We need the sword and peril from Rick, so we will do shifted. Actually, you know we don't actually. We can do the base form LB with Rick. Dwayne this turn can triple bolting. Rain can triple bolting. And actually, because Rick is doing absolute mirror, we can absolute mirror with Dwayne instead. Doesn't really matter. It's pretty much the same thing. Thena can just re-imbue, Protectka, and I guess we can barrier. Abigail can, I don't know what we did last turn. We're going to save contingency. Don't use contingency yet. We're going to save that for the last phase. So we're going to just cover Shelga, and I don't think we need anything else, so we can Anti-physical, sure. And we'll go ahead and deal some damage here. So we are getting to phase 3. Phase 3 is at 30%. That's when it gets a little rough, and we got to kind of speed through phase 3 a little bit. Alright, so we're going to start getting ready to burst as much as we can. So we're going to use LB on you. Fina will Extreme Nova Materia. Richt is going to Light from Within and double bolting. Dwayne will LB. We might even push the threshold this turn, by the way. Rain will triple bolt. And if we do, that's okay. And then Abigail will... Let's wait on Abigail and see if we do, in fact, push that threshold. We did. Unfortunately, it would have been nice to stop at 31. We pushed the threshold at pretty much the worst possible rotation. So let's go ahead and contingency. Let's cover and Shelga. And this is going to be phase 3. So we have 2 turns until Zombie goes out. Then we're kind of on a clock because we have no way to cure Zombie. Okay, so this turn, the boss can put up a barrier again. Not a barrier. Her defense and spirit buff. But now we've got Richter or Richt to deal with it. So Dwayne will do his thing. Fina will do her thing. Abigail will do her thing. Richt is now going to go to the shift form, and we're going to remove the boss's buffs. We're going to do... How's Richt's imbue looking? 2 turns? Oh, that's unfortunate. So we're going to Moment of Weakness to remove the boss's buffs. We're going to Hope and Trusted, and then we're going to Determined to Protect. Yeah. Rain will... Hold on. Wait for all these spell effects to finish. It's lagging me out. So irritating. Come on, Fina. I hate your LB. Finally. Okay, Rain is going to triple pulverizing. Ibarra, let's see. We're good there, so we're going to shifted LB, or shifted setup, and we're going to bolting, and that. Yeah. Let's go ahead and do this. So we got rid of the boss's buffs, and there we go. Now, we don't have Zombie yet, so we're okay for the moment. All right, next turn, we're going to do some bursting. All right, so this is right here, Mirage. Okay, so we need... and notice the boss is dealing like 50,000 damage to Abigail, but thankfully the 100,000 point barriers are absorbing those 50k hits, which is really nice right now. So Richt, the Sword in Peril is still there, so we'll do that. Unfortunately... Dwayne, 1 turn on Arcane Supplementation. I should change my turn chart and adjust that. Whoops. Whatever. So Dwayne will triple bolting. Rain will triple bolting. So we don't have Mirage this turn, but it's going to be okay, I think. I think this turn we don't actually need Mirage. So let's imbue the party. Let's Protectka and just whatever. So we'll do that, and the rest of the party... Change with you, change with you, change with you. Yeah, that should be fine. And there we go. Little bit of damage here. Okay. Abigail will continue to... let's go ahead and guard Abigail so that she takes less damage this turn, because the boss is going to be hurting. Oh my god. Oh my god. Seriously? So we might lose Fina here. We didn't have Mirage. That was the problem. Yeah, I got cocky. We didn't have Mirage. I should have kept Mirage. Should have known we needed to keep Mirage up. That was just my goofiness. Okay, so Mirage. Fina, you're going to be dead in a second. Big sad face. That's okay, though. Richt on this turn. We'll go to the shift form. We got to do Luminous Burst again. So, Luminous... And then double Determined. Dwayne can do his LB this turn. Rain, triple bolting. Let's see. Fina the return. We can just imbue the party. We can barrier. And we can protect. And she's going to be dead in 1 second. Let's see. Abigail can, again, just guard. And we should be killing the boss on turn 18, I think. Alright. I think so. And then some big attacks on Abigail, but she's guarding. It's fine. And Fina? Actually, because... There we go. There's Fina. Yeah, we kind of expected that. That's fine. So we're not going to SOB Dwayne. We're going to instead do Arcane Supplementation and then double chain. Ibarra is going to shift here. And we're going to bolt, bolt, bolt. Rain is going to... I'm so irritated that I messed up that turn earlier. And Richt will do this. Yes. And then Abigail will do that. And here we go. So we're either going to kill the boss here, and I messed that up. It's fine. So we should be okay here. Yeah, we had Mirage still. Okay. Yep, we got it. And people are dying, but we're still at high morale for the moment. Yeah, this is me being a little bit sloppy at the end because I really messed up that earlier turn. Big sad face. But whatever, it works out as you can see. So triple bolting you, rain triple bolting all the time. Triple bolting. Now keep in mind you have to finish with the morale gauge above 180%. But that's fine. We're going to do that. So this, and this. These all fill morale gauge. And there it is. And then we chain it up, and we're above 180% morale. And we win. There is our perfect score, rank 1, without Elena. So phase 3, certainly risky, and much harder without Elena, because we don't have the good mitigations, we don't have the good leader skill, etc. But it can still be done. And I will be using Elena in other clears, which will be a little bit easier to pull off. But I wanted to right away do the no Elena clear. And there is the rank 1. And here is the damage breakdown. So Richt and Flaring Rain are very good here. Ibarra, in phase 2, Ibarra had to spend most of the time keeping Mirage up, so her damage really tanks during that phase. Because we didn't have any other better source of Mirage. Dwayne, like I mentioned, he's a burster. He's not a damage per turn unit. So he did quite a few good bursts. He gave us arcane supplementation and all that. But his damage per turn across a 19-turn fight is not the greatest. Fina was our imbue and Abigail was our tank. I'll show you the gear in a second. And there's my first ticket. I actually rather get rid of the stupid rainbow tickets. Alright. 1 out of 3 done. Okay, let's go ahead and show the gear. And as usual, I am not having the modifiers on while I show gear, so the resistances are before modifiers. So our leader was Richt with his 500 Clash leader skill. Abigail, with only Richt's leader skill, is at 14,000 spirit. Now here's the important thing. She is at 400% to ice and light resist. That way we don't have to remove the imperil and we don't have to remove the field. That's the important thing. Because no one is curing imperils in this party and no one is getting rid of the field, we have to have our tank just straight up immune to the ice and the light damage. So 400 to both. We're also not buffing status immunity ever, so the whole party is immune to sleep and paralyze. We're passive provoking and death immune on our tank as well, and the tank is Abigail. And there's the gear. Here's how we're doing it. And then the the steady and sacred shield card. And there it is. Fiend of the Return is status immune. Resistances on the rest of the party are not really important. Just status immunity is all that matters. And no one else needs death immunity either. So yeah, a little bit of Esperfill, an extreme Nova materia to support chain. Other than that, just morale stuff. Open heart, open home, and then whatever. Give her some bulk. As you saw, She did get hit really hard because we messed it up, and I didn't Mirage an attack on turn 3 or phase 3, and that ended up getting her killed. If I had Miraged, she wouldn't have taken that big huge hit. But yeah, just don't make the same mistake as me. Also, whoops, very critically important. Do not use her STMR or Trust Mastery. You do not want her Trust passive activated, because that'll make her counter healing. And if she counters healing, she'll kill you in phase 3. Do not activate her Trust passive. Also, she needs to be on the Bayment Esper for the field. Ibarra in both forms, using some mana reduction, a little bit of mana fill, status immunity. Other than that, LB damage versus humans, demons, and fairies. Same build, both forms. There we go. And she is maxed LB, maxed demon, maxed human, and maxed fairy. And she is at 13.7 with Rick's leader skill. Rick is using the best gear, 16.1 with his own leader skill. We're using some LB fill, which is kind of useful for him because because of what we're doing, we're not always filling his LB by himself. So a little bit of LB fill, Guardian of Kyrie, Lion's Heart. That's just optional. It's a quality of life thing. If you don't have this, do the best you can. But he gears really easily anyway. So there it is. He's geared the same in both forms. Maxed LB, maxed demon and human and fairy. And there it is. Both forms identical. Dwayne is 15.1 with Rick's leader skill. There's the build. Status immunity from the Moonshade Earring. That gives him mana regen as well. Status immune. Here is the setup. LB damage versus his own card. LB damage versus humans, demons, and we're a little short on Fairy Killer, but 250 is pretty fine. And then Flaring Rain, we only use the base form. Dual wielding our morale card. Status immunity. Clash gear. There it is. Some mana regen with Pure Lotus. Yeah, mana is a little bit of a problem in this clear, as we're all using like high mana regen sources, and he's maxed on everything. Okay, turn chart will be in the comments up until the burst turn. At that point, just wing it. I didn't really feel like doing a 20 turn chart. And I'll be doing more clears in the future that will involve Elena with her leader skill, which makes it a little bit easier. Okay, see you in a bit.